Hello, this is Professor Slaughter, and I want to welcome you to the BUS200 class. This is a Principles of Management class. It's a little bit different than your other business classes in that we are going to be really looking at management, the structure of management, what managers do, and my personal goal or objective for you is that when you are through with this class at the end of the semester, that I've corrected your thinking a little bit, that you're no longer thinking like an employee or thinking like a member of management. And I really want to help you transition into that next business level, so to speak. So I've received some emails from a few of you saying, hey, this is my first online class. So even though I'm not going to do this every week, I'm only going to do it when it's required. I thought I would hop in to the class, record a little introductory video that will help you get started in making sure that you're on the right foot. Now, for those for those of you who are taking a class from me and you've taken classes from me before, you know that I work off of a checklist system. So I'm going to be giving you a checklist in these online classes just like I do in a seated environment and in my other online classes. And if you do everything that's on the checklist, then you should be in pretty good shape. And I ask those of you who do have some experience in dealing with me that you try to help the other students along that might not have as much experience or firsthand experience with being in my class or even in dealing with the Blackboard environment. Okay, so in looking at the Blackboard shell, you need to make sure every time you log into Blackboard that you really concentrate on this announcement screen and make sure that I haven't posted anything new. Any official notifications in the class I'm going to put on this announcement screen. Now, there's a reason why there's a Start Here menu, and that's because you're supposed to start there. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that, because when we get to the first week assignments, you're going to be asking me questions like, what's Easy Test? How do I get in it? And I'm really providing that information under the Start Here menu. So do the right thing. Start under the Start Here menu. Okay. Now let's go to this course content. When you click on course content, which is where your actual work is going to be, and we're having a little bit of trouble with Blackboard today. I've been having to switch back and forth between Chrome and Mozilla Firefox to get all the content. So we're having to be a little patient. I would recommend to you that you download more than one browser. Download Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Opera maybe. Download, a couple of different versions so that you can get to all the content. I have had a little bit of problem this morning. So week one, you'll see week one learning objectives. These are the things that you're going to be able to do at the end of week one. So you click on week one, and just like in my other classes, the first thing you're going to see is the week one checklist. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download this checklist and explain to you how this works. You can use this checklist online, or you can print it out and carry it around with you. But basically, this is my attempt to not only keep myself organized related to your class, but also to help you stay organized. Basically, this is everything that's going to be required of you for the week. And you'll notice as we go through Blackboard that everything that's on this checklist also appears in Blackboard. So you'll see me skipping back and forth. You'll see where the week is listed to keep you straight. And then immediately it starts talking about what chapters you need to read. You need to read chapters 1 and 2. And I provide to you the PowerPoint presentations, although they're not required. These are the publisher content. So the reality is, if you're a student, even if you're part-time, you're probably part-time because you have other responsibilities. Or you're full-time, which means you have other responsibilities in other classes. So I'm not naive to the fact that many of you don't have time to read all the chapters. So I try to give you a plan B, but let's be careful that our plan B doesn't become our plan A. You really do need to read the chapters in this book. But if you don't have time one particular week, or you're going to be running a little late on reading your chapters, download these PowerPoint presentations that are provided to you in Blackboard, because going through the Blackboard presentations will be a comprehensive review of the book, or the comprehensive review of the chapter of the book, and at least you'll have some idea of what we're talking about, although you might not be getting all the all the details. So, I provide those PowerPoint presentations for you. This week you're going to be watching a video, you're going to be doing something in the discussion board, and for those of you who haven't worked in a discussion board before, it's a two-part process. Before I forget, for those of you who have experience with me in other classes, there's a big change in this class. Due dates are not on Sunday, they're due on Monday nights at midnight. So the the week will run from Tuesdays to Mondays, which means that if you have something to do on Sunday or you have something to do on the weekends and you just don't have time to work on your homework, you will have time on Monday to get it done before it's considered late. So again, due dates in this course, Monday nights, 11:59 p.m. And if you don't upload your assignments and your homework by 11:59 p.m., the assignment disappears in Blackboard and you can no longer access it. So please make sure that you stay on top of that. But with the discussion board, you have two due dates. You have your initial posting or contribution to the discussion board that's going to be due on Thursday nights by midnight. And then you have your follow-up posting, or what's called a cross-posting, which could be a response to something that I've asked you as the professor, or maybe a cross-posting from another student, or a posting to another student. You need to respond to them. Those cross-postings are due by Monday night at midnight. Oh, another thing. If you don't get your initial posting into the discussion board on time, then you receive a 0 for that assignment. So make sure that your initial posting to the discussion board is on the due date, and in this case, it is January 15th. Okay, then you have your assignment, and this is going to match, this is going to mirror what I'm getting ready to show you in Blackboard. Again, we're working from the checklist, so you can track your due dates, you can check off things as you get them done. You need to write a 2 to 3 page paper on 2 of the following videos. What I want you to do is consider what the role of management is in 2 of these videos. You can watch any video that you want. I'll show you how that, you don't have to type these links in. I have copied these links into Blackboard, so all you have to do is click on them. Okay, and then extra credit. I give extra credit in this class, and the thing that's really cool about my extra credit is it doesn't go towards your assignments, it goes towards your final grade. So at the end of the semester, if you have an 89.1, which would normally give you a B, if you do one of the extra credit assignments, each one is worth a point at the end of at your final grade. So that would mean that that 89.1 becomes a 90.1, and then you get your A. So I would recommend, since I don't round grades, I would recommend everyone do at least one extra credit assignment during the semester, so that if you do end up in that situation where you're at an 89 or better, you have that extra point to kick you to an A. And then you need to do your self-assessments, which are in Easy Test, which you would have learned about under the Start Here menu. Okay, so this is the checklist. You can print this out, write on it. I don't need to see it. I don't need it back from you. But if we start having office hours and you're having trouble following the class, I am going to ask to see these checklists to see that you're using them, because they are helpful in keeping you organized. Okay, so here's the actual Microsoft Word document of the checklist. So I'm going to close that out, and now we're going to go to the Blackboard. And you'll notice in Blackboard, make this a little bigger, you'll notice in Blackboard that the Blackboard classroom is set up exactly like the checklist in exactly the same order. Now, I will tell you that you should always look at the checklist, because the checklist could sometimes provide additional information and detail that will not be necessarily embedded in Blackboard. So make sure that you take a look at that checklist and that you follow along in Blackboard. Okay, so there's a copy of your checklist. You just click on that. As we discussed, there's your optional PowerPoint presentations. Here's that first video on the checklist talking about management and incredible view, and this is just a little short video that I recorded regarding what my perceptions of management are. And then you get to your discussion, what type of manager am I? And this basically forces you to consider that in the concept of management's functions being planning, organizing, staffing, leading, directing, and controlling, what do you think that you would be best at as a manager? Because I want to kind of get to know you a little bit, find out what your perspectives are, and this really helps me figure out where you're at as far as your management level. And the way you post to the discussion board, you just click what type of manager am I, click on the title, and then you're going to click on create thread. And you'll see under create thread, the description is then put in there again, which is the assignment description. And then I'm just going to create a test example. I can't spell. Okay, and I'm going to do a posting. All right, and then once you give your contribution a title and you put your discussion comment in there, then you're going to hit submit. And then let's say that after everybody gets their initial postings in, okay, so you're going to see maybe 10, 12, a list of 10 or 12 contributions, including your own. And so then it will be maybe time for you to do your cross-posting or go back in. So you're going to hit the subject line of the student that you want to respond to, and then you just hit reply. And same thing, you're going to type in your response here and hit submit, and then you'll see that you've got your response in. And then when you want to return to the discussion board, there's a couple of different ways. You can go to discussions, but I normally just come up here to the top and click on the forum, and then you'll see that there are 2 posts under there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this so that it's not a distraction in the discussion board. Oh, and let me say this about discussion boards. Posting something like, I like your comment, or I agree, or I have the same opinion, really is a high school level contribution to a discussion board. So at the college level, I expect much more, especially in a business level class that's at the 200 level. I expect you to at least put a paragraph or 2 in the discussion board with even some cited sources, and we will improve upon our discussions as we move through the semester. But definitely cite any official sources or any sources that you use, including your textbook. Okay, so let's go back over here to course content, week 1. Okay, we talked about the checklist and the PowerPoint presentations and the slide. Just talked about the discussion board. Okay, so here's your assignment, and you'll see that you can actually click on these links and it'll open up the video in another window for you. So then you can watch the video. I've got the volume turned down on this. Okay. Oh, no I don't. Okay. I'll go ahead and close this out. This assignment requires that you watch 2 of these videos, and you pick 2 videos that you're interested in and answer the 2 questions that are indicated by number 1 and 2. From time to time, I will give you extra credit in this class. Why do I do that? Because I have found that when people get an 89.1 in the class, they get really ticked off that they were that close to an A and they didn't get it. So I give you extra credit that you can add to your final grade. This also helps you manage your emergencies. If you have to miss an assignment or something like that, you can turn the assignment in late just for the purpose of being able to do the extra credit. You're not going to get any credit for doing the assignment, but we can't have any zeros in the textbook, in the grade book. So if you find yourself in that situation, you need to contact me so that I can help you make the right decisions and get this extra credit applied to your final grade. Okay, and then you'll see that there is a reminder to get your assessments done. And if you click on Easy Test Online, it will take you it'll provide you the full link. You click on the link, and then it'll take you to the easy test online. So if this is the first time you're going, then you need to register. So you'd click here on register, and then otherwise you can go into the classroom. You'll see your assessments there. You just click right on them, answer them. I monitor them so I know how often you do them. I also know what kind of grades you're making on them. Now, these are part of your participation grade. They're not part of an assignment grade. I want you to practice these. These are to help you learn the material. They're not created to penalize you, but they are required. So even though they're not graded, they are required. Okay, and they count towards your participation grade. And then you'll see at the bottom that there's a link called Questions About Content. And so if you have any questions about the content, go ahead and click on this and enter your questions into the discussion board, and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. If they're not too deep, if the question you have is not too deep of a question, then you're certainly welcome to text me, and I'll try to give you immediate guidance. But if you're asking me something that would be a benefit to other students, then I'm going to ask that you post it in the discussion board. Okay, so let's talk about the water cooler forum. I don't monitor the water cooler forum. I feel like students need to have a venue in the water cooler forum that allows you to talk to each other, where you can talk to the class and the class can talk to you. So I don't monitor that, but I do monitor questions about content, so that I can make sure that you have all the information that you need. Okay, so, let's talk about uploading the assignment. So let's say that you've written your paper. It says you need to write a 2 or 3 page paper. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the title of the assignment. And then it's going to tell you when it's due, how many points. It says that anonymous grading is currently turned on for this assignment. Why do I turn it on? I mean, let's face it. Professors are human too, and we have different relationships with different students, and we are more familiar with some students than we are others. And even though I know that the professors that I know, including myself, we take every step possible to make sure that we're being unbiased in our grading. Let's face it, in the real world, how you view things and how you assess things can be tied a lot of times to the type of relationship that you have with the person. So by having anonymous grading, it allows me to open up your assignment without seeing your name. Now this makes a recommendation for you not to put your name on the paper. I think that's a very bad idea, but you could put it on the last page instead of the first page. You know, I think you need to put your name on your paper somewhere in case I print it out, and then I know whose grade it is. So I try to grade everything in Blackboard. You know, you might want to put your name on the last page of it. But I do, as I'm moving through the grading process, I do grade your papers anonymously. So then you're going to, it says write your submission. Please don't use this. I'm not going to grade these type submissions. You need to type your paper in a Microsoft Word format according to APA styles, and then the way you attach your paper, you're going to click on the Browse My Computer button. You'll pick the file that you want to upload, and then you will click I agree to submit my papers to the Global Reference Database. This is because I check your papers for plagiarism. If you have any concerns about your assignment, or you want me to talk to you about your assignment, or if there's anything that you feel like you want to discuss further, you can add a comment. I will read these comments before I start reading your paper, before I start grading your paper. And then of course you can hit submit. So let's talk a little bit about late assignments. You know that I don't accept late assignments, but it is very important, even if you just put one sentence on the paper, that you submit something by the due date. Because if you submit even one sentence, I'll give you a bad grade on the paper, of course, but you will be able to do extra credit, which will increase their final score in the class. So please do not miss any deadlines. Okay, and then once you select the paper that you want to upload, then you just hit submit and it uploads your paper. So let's go back to course content, see if there's anything else in there I need to mention to you. Let's see, we'll scroll down through that. We talked about, extra credit, that's available to you. Each extra credit assignment is worth 1 point. So I think that will take care of everything. If there's any other information that you need, please let me know. And if I need to do another video like this, I'll be happy to do so. Thank you again. Welcome to the class.